All right, so that's Heidi. And this morning we have James in the shop. And all right, so we're gonna tell the story of James's car. You have a 1966 Coronet in here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's Plymouth, not Dodge. Is that correct?
Or Dodge.
It is a Dodge Coronet. Okay, because I know Dodge and Plymouth, obviously same company, but it's like that whole GM and Oldsmobile. So James, what year did you get this car?
Got it on my 50th birthday.
What year was that?
Let's see, 56, oh 04.
Okay, so 2004 you got this car, but it wasn't you that bought this car.
No, 2006 I got it.
Okay, 2006.
Yeah.
You didn't buy this car for yourself. Who bought the car for you?
My wife.
Your wife did, and so she bought it for you as a 50th birthday gift,
Yeah.
right? And why did she buy you a 1966 Dodge Coronet convertible, which is actually an extremely rare car?
Yeah.
Why that car?
Well, originally I was looking for a Dart,
Mm-hmm.
but we couldn't find the Dart. But we just happened to be looking online, and we saw this on an eBay auction, of all places.
Uh-huh.
And I saw it, and I said, "Oh, I love this. This is cool. It's a neat, classic-looking old car, big car." And she says, "Oh, I love the color, pollen yellow.
Okay.
Be good down in Georgia."
Yeah. So she bought you this car for your 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't want to drag up a bad subject, but the reality is that you told me something that very much pulled at my heartstrings. What happened right after she bought you this car?
Well, she ended up getting sick again. She was battling cancer, ovarian cancer. She's actually battled it for 16 years, and 2 years ago she passed away from it.
So I'm gonna, James had this desire to have an old car. His wife being one of these ladies that sort of gets that guy gene, and she goes out and buys him this car for his birthday, and then starts dealing with cancer that eventually took her life. And she was a young lady. Her name's Kim. And so 2 years ago, James lost Kim. But you told me something else. What did you and Kim used to do before she passed? You told me that there was.
Well, we used to watch FantomWorks.
Yeah. So it's sort of.
Yeah, we always thought, maybe one day you'll be able to get that car in there to get it fixed. I says, yeah, well, right now I could work on it myself. So that's what I did. But then the more she got sicker, the less I spent time on the car until it just basically sat in the garage.
Yeah. So the car came here, and we've had it now, what, about 9 months? 6 months, somewhere in there. We got it in the spring, and it's going home in the fall. And when it arrived, to say that it ran like crap would be giving it too much credit. It really didn't even want to go around the block, but it did start, but it just shook and shuddered. The steering suspension had not been done since the car was brand new. The paint had chips and a big dent in it. It wasn't assembled. There was half the pieces of trim not on it. And I discovered that a car like a 66 Coronet was so rare that even companies like Rare Parts, who deal exclusively in the incredibly hard to find, in many cases, we had to place 3, 4, 5 orders with Rare Parts, because each time they would send us a part, and they were great at working with us, but they would send us stuff that would turn out to be wrong, it wouldn't fit, and it was just kind of a constant battle of how do we get the right parts. Now, we eventually did, and I called James in because we were having a big carburetor issue that we actually solved just last night. So I'm going to take James out to see his car, and to me, I don't think this car is really a 66 Coronet as much as it is a little bit of Kim.
Yeah.
You know, that James told me when he called me that this car is really the embodiment of the wife that saw her, the gleam in her husband's eye 16 years ago, fell in love with a car. She had to get it for you, and then you two attempted to do some work with it while she was still alive, and then she finally passed, and at that point you called me. So shall we go look at a Coronet that I can only at this point name Kim?
Yeah.
All right, let's go see it. Now, James has not, you know, the last time he saw this car, it was in a lot of pieces. And I have got to apologize. We haven't detailed it yet. We haven't even vacuumed it because we were actually still working on it just hours ago. But I think it's a very cool car. Hang on, I'm going to get a few lights for us here. Very cool car, and it's a highly unusual car because it is a 1966 Coronet convertible. Now, there's James.
Oh my God.
And we haven't polished it, but you can see that the chips are gone, the dents are gone.
It's like a brand new car.
It's pretty darn close. So, let me tell you, James, the battling of the Coronet beast was actually not easy. Again, it's not detailed, and I do apologize for that. That was, see, Heidi's out here. She's kind of excited too, huh, girl? But, okay. So what are your first impressions? Is this the car that you and your wife wanted?
Yes. This is all her.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a young lady.
Oh yeah.
That I have a feeling is going to sort of live in the passenger seat of this vehicle. Now, open it up, and again, so here, I'm going to apologize. Look, there's stuff on the floor because we were just working on it, but all the gauges work. The steering and suspension's been rebuilt, and that was just a brutal battle.
Yeah, we switched over to the console shift.
Yep. Yep, you wanted the console shift with, now correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that a 67 Charger console?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we integrated a slightly different console that James wanted. So this little beast of a car, and it's a pretty big car, James.
It is.
You know, and right now every piece of rubber on the bottom of the car, I believe we managed to get every single one of them, and they're all brand new. So really, you take care of this car, and I would say from a steering, suspension, and sort of all that maintenance, you got 20 years before you have to touch it again. I mean, you still have to change the oil and things, but you've got 20 years of really a completely maintenance-free car. We're gonna go out for a ride, folks. I'm gonna open up the door here, so I'll get back to you guys in just a little bit, and James and I are gonna go take it out for a ride. But I just wanted to sort of bring you in on this little moment because James hasn't seen the car, and he hasn't really ever driven the car because it never really ran. And so he, for the first time in 16 years, of which 14 he and his wife own this car and sort of work together. They're going to get their first chance to, in fact, I almost feel like I should sit in the back seat so that Kim can sit up front. So we'll be back with you shortly. All right, any parting words before you fire it up?
No, it's beyond words. This is beyond words. I mean, she's happy. She's very happy.
Very good. All right, folks, we'll be back to you shortly. All right, so at this point, hang on, we're just going to give you a quick. That's the sound of a 318 Poly that actually runs incredibly stout for a little 318 Poly, because James, are you aware that this is a Poly motor, right?
Yeah.
And the Poly is actually a fairly odd bird, right?
Yes,
they didn't put Polys in a lot. And certainly 66 was, I believe, the very last year they ever put a Poly.
Last year.
Yeah. And so very odd combination, but go ahead and let's take her out. And by the way, what do you think of the way she started and fired right up?
Very good. Unreal.
Yeah. I mean, you've never heard this car run anything like this, have you?
No.
Now, wait a second. We are screwing up here. We are not wearing our seat belts, and we actually installed you a good set of seat belts, so. Yeah.
It was down there.
Oh, hang on. go ahead and... Okay. All right, so hang on. Oh, this stupid thing. I never can figure out how to make this. Somehow I've got it. All right, so it's actually pointing the wrong way. I'm going to try and... Oh, there we go. All right, so we're back. We've got our seat belts on. All right, so our temperature, it's just... All right, so we're just climbing up. Yeah, they think we're honking at them. See, those are the wonderful, wonderful people of Norfolk. Yeah. So, so everything is running on it. Let's take her out, and you're going to notice it's a fairly responsive little go stick on this. Especially, this is a big car with a not real big engine.
Rush hour traffic.
yeah. Unfortunately, this is Norfolk, and we're dealing with rush hour traffic.
Woo.
Yeah, she'll go. Believe it or not, you can actually do a burnout with an automatic in a car this big with a little motor. It will actually light the tires up. Now, you're not going to light them up from 35 or 40 miles an hour, but from a stop, it'll light them up. So,
doesn't creak anymore.
yeah, it's fairly quiet. You'll hang on. Let me shut up here for a minute.
Yeah, it used to just groan and creak and make all the strange noises.
I heard something there, so we've got a little noise. We've got one noise left. But now, when you get a moment, let's turn right in one of these so that we can get off this main road and actually do a little bit of driving around in sort of a more controlled environment. This is Old Dominion University, right down from the shop. You can see we're right next to the college. Traffic is always bad as a result. Now go ahead and try a little left-right. You know, you're only going to get so responsive in a 1966 full-size, Dodge. But
no, this is unreal.
Okay, and when you get a chance, go ahead and give me I don't think you need to lock them up right now, but try a fairly aggressive stop just to sort of see how you're. Okay, so
I can't believe this pickup on this thing.
Oh, for a 318, we were actually quite stunned that it's producing the power it is. Yeah, it's not bad, right? I mean,
it's great.
Oh, by the way, your vacuum gauge works. As you step on it, you're going to see your vacuum drop. There you go. So, oh, and the radio, hang on, we've...
Instant fire asides and succinctly related personal anecdotes.
So you can listen to tunes going down the road. So overall impressions, what do you think? Is this, I mean, I want you to look at it. So here's what's going to happen next. James is going to drop me off and he's going to go driving. Whoa.
Almost.
Okay. That guy was, all right. That was close. So James is going to go driving for a couple of hours because I want everyone who picks up a car from us to drive it in bad traffic, in good traffic, stop, start, really go through the car and make sure that they actually really like the car. Because if there's anything wrong with it, and there's probably a gremlin in the car somewhere, I want them to bring it back. And if there's a list, we're going to deal with that. Hold on, he doesn't have a stop. We have nice people here in Norfolk, as you can see. We've just been barraged this morning with just delightfully nice people in Norfolk. Okay, this is a big bump. That was not bad.
Oh,
all right.
Great.
So I'm going to sign off now and let James continue on with his test drive. But folks, thanks for joining us. And I just wanted to say to James, go up there, and traffic's only one way here, and then turn right at the next stop sign. Okay. So James is going to go out for a ride now with Kim, and spend the next couple of hours sort of getting reacquainted with his 1966 Coronet. Any final words for the folks there, Jay?
I'm 1000% happy.
Outstanding.
So is Kimmy's looking down at us going like, attaboy.
All right. Very good. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon.